It all began with whispers soft at first, almost like people were trying not to believe what they were saying. But those whispers grew louder, sharper, more urgent. People close to Meghan started hinting that something inside her life was cracking, that the polished, controlled image she presents to the world was slipping. And the way they said it, it was like they knew a storm was already on its way. They weren't talking about the glamorous duchess in stunning gowns or the confident woman in photo-ready moments. No, they were talking about someone raw, someone tired, someone losing control in ways she couldn't hide anymore. And tonight, it feels like we're stepping directly into that hidden world, the one Meghan never wanted anyone to see. Because what's coming out now, it's not just rumors. It's pieces of her private life that are spilling out in ways no one expected. Her habits, her emotions, the drinking, the parenting struggles, the tension in her marriage, all of it pushing together until the truth couldn't stay hidden. And it all traces back to one night, the night everything cracked open. It was supposed to be one of those high-status Hollywood-style nights. Glittery guests, soft golden lights, expensive perfume in the air, everyone trying to act effortless even though they spent hours getting ready. Meghan arrived exactly how people expect her to. Elegant, flawless, every hair perfectly placed, a dress that practically whispered luxury. Cameras loved her, and she played the part with ease. But as the evening stretched on, people noticed something shift. They weren't just watching a woman enjoying a drink, they were watching someone sinking deeper into her glass with every passing minute. Her voice got louder, her laugh grew sharper, and her steps, well, even the carpeted floor couldn't hide how unsteady she was becoming. At first, people brushed it off. Maybe she was excited, maybe she was celebrating, maybe she was just being her bold self. But then the comments started. And that's when the room changed. Meghan began talking about Harry. And not the sweet, supportive kind of talk a wife shares. No, this was the kind of talk that makes everyone freeze mid-sip. She shared things that were way too personal, the kind of private details couples never say out loud, especially not in front of strangers. Every time her glass lifted, her words hit harder. People didn't know whether to laugh awkwardly, change the subject, or pretend they didn't hear anything. The tension slowly wrapped around the room like invisible smoke. Guests started drifting away, suddenly fascinated by anything else, their phones, the decor, even the snack table, anything to avoid being caught in the middle of whatever emotional storm Meghan was letting loose. And that's when it hit people. This wasn't a dramatic moment or a single emotional slip. It felt like they were watching someone unravel in real time. And no one, not her friends, not the hosts, not even the staff, could pull her back. But the saddest part? That night wasn't the only sign. It was just the first time the world outside the walls of Montecito saw it. Behind the scenes, the people who live near her, who work with her, who see her daily life, they say this has been building for months. They whisper that Meghan drinks through the day, not as a little treat after lunch or a glass with dinner, but all day long. Like it's part of her routine, almost like it's tied to the lifestyle she believes comes with fame and wealth. But the people closest to her, the ones who genuinely care, felt it was slipping into something more dangerous. They tried to intervene, quietly, gently, more than once. 2 or 3 times, they apparently brought up rehab, hoping she'd recognize the signs, hoping she'd choose her health. They tried to guide her with love, thinking she'd listen. She didn't. She shut the idea down every time, saying she was fine, that she was in control, that everyone was overreacting. But the changes in her behavior were becoming impossible to ignore. Long afternoons locked in her room, slurred phone calls, nights when she couldn't drive, days where she seemed distant, irritated, unfocused, like her mind was slipping somewhere else entirely. And then came the part that broke people's hearts, the quiet realization that Meghan is deep in denial, that she genuinely believes she's managing everything. But the truth is written all over the moments she can't hide anymore. And it's not just affecting her. The people whispering say the impact is landing hardest on the 2 children caught in the middle. From the outside, Meghan posts beautiful family photos, the perfect mother, the perfect kids, the perfect life. But people who've been around the home say the real picture is very different. They claim the children often look neglected, not in the normal messy kid way, but in a way that feels overlooked. Little Lilibet, at her age, she shouldn't even be in diapers anymore, but she was seen wearing one that looked soiled, like no one had checked her properly. She's often wearing the same pair of pajamas repeatedly, cheap-looking ones that seem worn out even though Meghan herself steps out in outfits worth thousands. And then there's the wig. People talk about how Lilibet's hair looks like it's covered by a tangled, unbrushed wig that looks forgotten. Meanwhile, her mother's hair is always professionally styled, glossy, perfect. Archie's situation feels similar. He's always seen in the same tiny black shoes with white soles, no variety, no change, just one pair, over and over again. The contrast between Meghan's luxury wardrobe and the children's repetitive, worn-looking clothes paints a chilling picture. But Meghan wouldn't. She pushed back, refusing to admit anything was wrong. And that's when things exploded into one of the biggest fights they've ever had. After that argument, something broke between them. Doria stepped back a little. Meghan grew defensive, and the home felt even more divided. And somewhere in those cracks in the growing silence, in the emotional gaps, someone else began filling Meghan's empty spaces. Marcus Anderson. And that's where the story gets even deeper. Marcus stepping into Meghan's world didn't happen suddenly. It was slow, almost unnoticeable at first, like he was just another friend dropping by. But people inside their home say his presence became so constant that it stopped feeling like a visit and started feeling like a replacement. He's always been close to Meghan, long before the royal titles, long before the cameras, before the chaos. She trusts him in a way that feels deeper than friendship, almost like he understands the version of her she tries so hard to hide. And according to the people inside the Craters household, Marcus became the steady voice the children heard the most. He talks to them gently, plays with them, listens to them, sits beside them when the house feels tense. It's almost strange in a home where two adults are drifting emotionally. Somehow Marcus stepped into the role that shouldn't belong to him. The kids seem calmer around him. They smile at him. They run to him. And all of this makes people whisper even louder. Why him? Why so much trust? Why so much dependence? And the whispers only grow louder when people see how Meghan reacts to him. When she's overwhelmed, when she's upset, when the drinking fogs her emotions, she leans on him. Almost instinctively, like he has become the anchor in her life, the stabilizing force she reaches for when everything else feels shaky. And while the public thinks Meghan spends her days walking the gardens of the Montecito mansion, the truth is drifting in a very different direction. Because she has another life. A private condo in Los Angeles tucked away from the image she maintains. And sources say she has been spending more and more time there, away from the home she shares with Harry and the children. That condo, according to people who've seen it, is where she feels free. Free from judgment, free from Harry's distant moods, free from the tension that fills the Montecito air. In LA, she doesn't have to pretend. She doesn't have to be a duchess. She gets to be the version of herself she grew up with. The one who blends into the city, meets friends, drinks without anyone watching too closely, disappears without anyone asking questions. But every escape to that condo creates a bigger space at home. Harry notices. The kids feel it, even if they don't fully understand it. The staff sees the empty chair at the breakfast table, the quiet hallways where her presence should be. And every hour she spends away tightens the distance between her two worlds, her family, and the life she clings to when she wants to breathe. People close to the situation say the tension inside the home has reached a point where everyone is scared of where this path leads. Meghan refusing help, Harry drifting in and out emotionally, both parents swallowed by their own struggles. It raises painful questions behind closed doors. If she continues drinking like this, what happens next? If she keeps disappearing to LA, who holds the family together? If the children already feel the emotional gaps, how much longer before those gaps turn into wounds? People whisper about welfare checks, about someone stepping in officially if things get worse, about the possibility of intervention from people outside the home if the children's well-being becomes a concern. And through all of that, Harry's silence doesn't help. He's physically there, but emotionally, he feels like a ghost drifting through rooms, dealing with his own confusion, his own burnout, his own exhaustion. Some say the fights have drained him. Others think he no longer knows how to fix anything. And the children caught in the middle are too young to understand why the house feels cold sometimes, why their parents don't talk much, why laughter appears one day and disappears the next. They only feel the emotional shift, the heaviness, the tension in small ways. And people fear that if something doesn't change soon, everything that's fragile right now might break all at once. And that's where this chapter ends, with a home standing on shaky ground, a marriage stretched thin, a mother slipping deeper into her struggles, and a family hovering dangerously close to a breaking point.